Welcome back, everybody. This is the Johnny-Mare, and I'm continuing Final Fantasy III for the PSP. So my last episode, we beat the Djinn, we threw him to his watery grave, and we also unlocked the job system in this particular game. So now all of the citizens of this particular area have been turned back to their regular forms. They are no longer ghosts, and we have to figure out a way to get out of this area because we have been tasked by the crystal, the magical crystal of light, to basically save the world. So as we return to a previous town here, Kazus, we find out that Refia, has been missed by her dad. That's not surprising. But he's basically like, yeah, let's just get back to things. Let's continue with our smithing. And this guy is really excited about getting back to mining. Mining is kind of really hard work, but apparently if that's your lifestyle, right? If you're totally into that, then it's your thing. So in the remakes of this particular game, we have the Mognet, which is a sort of email system or letter passing system that they sort of used also in Final Fantasy IX. And so basically characters from throughout the game will send you letters. This is much more important in the DS version because it is actually the only way to access the side quests, or a lot of the side quests in the DS version, and also the only way to get the Onion Knight class, which is a special job class in the game. In the remakes of the remake for the PSP here and also the Steam version, they took out that particular functionality because you had to actually connect to other DSs with the same game and basically play with other people in order to access those quests. Now, obviously, you can't necessarily do that on the PSP version or the Steam version, so they redid that quest line and made it actually a lot easier to access those optional areas. So we'll be getting to that much later in the game when those become available. So Taka here is like, what? I'm kind of busy. And then Refia's like, yeah, I'd like to go with you. I know it's important. I know the crystal said we have to save the world. But my dad totally doesn't want me to go, so I can't. And we're like, okay, whatever. Now we'll get to this cave in a second. But first we want to head to the inn and talk to Sid. Now, if you remember, Sid was the person who talked about the airship. He gave us access to the airship, which allowed us to get to the sealed cave to actually take on the Djinn. Now he is back to normal, so we want to repay that favor by helping him out. And when you talk to him, he will let you know that he wants to get back to his hometown, which is nearby, but is currently blocked by a massive boulder. Everyone's super excited about not being ghosts anymore. And there's actually someone upstairs I do want to talk to as well. I like her little dialogue here. So she says, basically, now that I'm back to being normal, everyone can kind of swoon over my beautiful appearance. And so I figured let's zoom in on her and see how gorgeous she actually is. Now keep in mind, these aren't the greatest graphics, but I suppose, right? I'm not sure I would swoon over her, but maybe for this particular world, this area, she's the best available in terms of physical attraction. But let's talk to Sid. So Sid was very confident that we would succeed. I don't know what his other options were. And so he's like, all right, great. Now can you take me back to my hometown? My wife's been waiting for me. It's been a while. I've been stuck in this area. And we're like, sure. I mean, we're minus a party member. She doesn't seem to want to come with us. But we can take you home. So let's do that. So we're going to head outside. Maybe kind of like when we met Refia. Maybe she'll kind of show up once we get into the airship. So let's try that out. Airship's parked where we left it. Nope, no cutscene or anything. Maybe if we head over to the rock itself, Refia will show back up. Nope. All right. Well, if you actually talk to Sid as a party member, Sid will actually basically tell you to go to the blacksmith and talk to him about basically coming up with a way to try to get through that massive boulder. So we're going to head back to Taka and talk to him a little bit. Sid's going to convince him to add a ram to the front of our ship, a la Final Fantasy IV. Now, in the Famicom version, I believe it's a large bow. Like, I assume a bow and arrow, maybe, or something like that. So, I don't know. I mean, it's not a drill, that's for sure. So a ram, that makes a little bit more sense. Would be a little easier to install something like that than a drill or even a bow. And I like that Refia is a black mage here. I just imagine her trying to do blacksmith work while in that particular costume. So being an RPG, they are very quick. We don't even have to sleep on it. They finish up real fast, and he is ready to go. So thanks. I mean, we don't have any money or anything to give to you, but thanks. You get our eternal gratitude. And you may notice, where did Refia go? Yeah, you be busy. Pay no attention to the fact that your daughter disappeared again. So now we're going to head back out. I'm sure that's not going to come into play at all, as now we head into the airship again. You'll notice the airship has been moved back to its original place. And a cutscene. Hey, it's Refia. Shocking. Yes, we promised the crystal, and our word is as good as gold. And Refia mentions that she is an orphan, which strikes a chord with the rest of our party because it turns out we're all orphans. Imagine that. Angus is like, I don't have parents. Well, technically you had parents, right? Unless you were born through some sort of process that didn't involve humans, I guess. But now we have our full party back together. We're going to land, we're going to do some job shifting around for a future area, and then I'm going to head back into town, I'm going to get some new equipment, and then we're going to head to that cave in the back of town and access that and get a few additional items. So I will see you in a little bit after I do some shopping, some selling, and we will check out that cave that the guy in the inn mentioned. So, see you in a few minutes. Alright, so we are totally decked out with brand new mithril equipment, and we're going to head into the mithril mines. Now, you don't have to buy anything really in this town. The next town, Canaan, actually has all of the same equipment. So if you want to wait, you can do that as well. The one exception is the magic shop does have the fire spell. And we zoom in here to find the secret switch here to get the secret passage, which you cannot access in Canaan. So make sure to pick up a fire spell or a couple if you want to use those with your characters. But you'll notice my characters are now 2 thieves and 2 red mages. And that's because in an upcoming area I do want to do some stealing, because I want to get some Phoenix Downs. We get into a fight here. Now these enemies are really tough if you try to come in here the first time you're in town before you do the Djinn Cave, the sealed cave, but for now they're pretty easy, so they're going to go down fast. Especially if Sid shows up, and if he doesn't use his hammer, yeah, if he uses his fire spell, they're going to die real fast because they're weak to fire. I think they're technically undead. So we're going to grab the items at the back of the cave here, which are 2 mithril swords. Again, I'm going to equip everybody, and then I will meet you outside, and we will head on to the next town. So, see ya in a little bit. Alright, so we are all ready to go. Party is completely equipped. Items are ready. And boom! Now, not only did we take out the boulder, but unfortunately our airship has been destroyed as well. So much for an airship at the beginning of the game. The game giveth, the game taketh away. So we're back on foot. Fortunately, the next town is pretty close. We're going to save. And then we'll head into Canaan. So this is Sid's hometown. So we're returning him here as a way of saying thank you for using the airship that is no more. And we also need to figure out where to go next. So we know we have to try to save the crystals, stop this menacing evil, but we don't exactly know what the next step is. Sid mentions that if we want another airship, we're going to have to talk to King Argus. Because Sid works on the hull, but the king is the one who actually works on the innards of the ship. So Sid is gone. So thank you for your help, Sid. You go back to your wife. We're going to run around town, talk to a few people, grab a few items, and then see if we can get any clues as to what we should do next. Okay, so there's a hidden gnome village nearby. Interesting. A traveling mage hid a magical healing solution somewhere in town. That's good to know. We have an inn, so you can recover. If you want to do some grinding outside of town or buy some items, that is all available to you. And the building next to the inn is actually the clue as to what we're supposed to be doing next. So you'll notice there's a woman in the bed over there. We're going to talk to her mother, who notes that there was a man who came through town named Desh, and he didn't stay very long. He took off, and basically her daughter fell in love with him. And now she's essentially devastated that he left. Didn't return her affections. We'll grab 2 hidden items in here, and then we'll talk to her. And she's going to give us a little bit of a clue as to where to go next. It's not a great clue because it's pretty obvious. So she mentions, through her sobbing, that Desh went to the mountain nearby, where a dragon is said to dwell. And we're like, okay, that's interesting. We're adventurers. We're on a world-saving mission. Why don't we check out this dragon mountain? And then Refia's like, yeah, and then we'll bring that Desh guy back here. So we want to make her feel better, I guess. She fell in love with him, and how dare Desh leave? What a jerk. So there are a few more people in town we'll talk to. Not a lot to say other than Desh bought a mini scroll. So that's the mini spell, and that actually gets really utilized in this game, at least during the next little bit of the journey. We're going to be using that mini spell a lot, so we have to find Desh in order to get access to it. And then the house up here is actually Sid's house. Now we're going to be coming back to that. We're actually going to pick up an item first, which is necessary. If you go in there and talk to Sid, he'll mention that you need to find a elixir to help his wife, and the elixir is actually hidden in town. So we're just going to pick up the elixir and cut out that middle step. So if you head up these steps and then head down into the water, kind of a la Baron in Final Fantasy IV, you can run through the water and find a hidden chest. Now, unlike Final Fantasy IV, the chest is not necessarily hidden in the water itself. It's on this little island. And that is an elixir. So that elixir is necessary to help Sid's wife recover from an illness that she's been stricken with. And we can just run up waterfalls, because we are getting our steps in. Now again, there's a magic shop. A lot of the same mithril equipment is available in this town, so you don't have to, again, buy it in the previous town. And then we get a dancer. Now, I will watch you prance if you promise not to turn me into a frog. Or a pig. Nice job. Cool. So the magic shop sells the Thunder Spell, which is a level 2 magic spell. It's very expensive though. We're going to try eventually to get enough money to buy some, because eventually we're actually going to be turning our party members all into red mages. So yeah, 700 gold is pretty expensive. Now again, I already outfitted my characters, so I don't need to buy any equipment at either the weapon shop or the armor shop. So all that's already done. So we're just going to head, if I can get over this bridge, back to Sid's house, and we're going to talk to him and heal his wife. So as we come in and talk to Sid, Sid mentions that his wife has been stricken with an illness, a cold, or a severe flu, or whatever it is. And we need a bottle of elixir in order to save her. So if we talk to her, our item menu will pop open. We can use the elixir we found on her. And she's better. You are certainly welcome. Sid's like, yeah, I owe you so much. And you've grown up so much in the time we've known you. And yeah, he hasn't really noticed that much. He's just doting on us a little bit, serving that fatherly figure, or grandfatherly figure. Then he mentions, as gratitude, why don't you click that lamp over there, and that'll let you access my basement, which is where I used to store my airship, but now there's some chests down there. So we're going to do that, of course. We like stuff. Stuff is good. Now, when you first get into the basement, you're going to notice that a lot of the chests are pretty underwhelming. Not much going on down here. You're going to get the blind spell, which is okay. You're going to get some golden needles, which are important for the next area, because there are some enemies that can actually turn your party members into stone. We will get a phoenix down, so that's good. And then you'll get an item called the gnomish bread, which is a pretty useless item in reality, but I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Maybe we'll actually use it. So not much going on here, but if you head to the south, there's actually another secret room with some better stuff in it. So head through the wall here and we'll get a bunch of gold and also a few more phoenix downs. So my next episode, we're going to head to that nearby mountain. We're going to check out this dragon, and we're also going to do a little bit of level grinding because there's an enemy nearby that I want to steal from and actually get some phoenix downs from. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and next time, we'll actually get an encounter with Bahamut. So long.